Guys, it's been a while, but this is Miss Adalynn, and she just turned 3 months on the 2nd, so she's getting big. I tell you what, she is one of the happiest little babies. She is always smiling at mama, and anyway, so I thought I would start off this video with my birth story. So it was October 2nd. I woke up to go to the bathroom. I was 37 weeks, 2 days then, and I got back from the bathroom and I laid down in bed. I was almost back asleep, and then I felt like a little bit of fluid coming out of me, and I was like, okay, that's weird. And so then I kind of sat up a little bit because I was like, am I peeing again? Because I had just peed. Or is my water breaking? So I sat up and it just broke. Like, it just kept coming out and like gushing out, and I could not stop it. I kept trying to go over to the edge of the bed, and I wanted to stand up, but it was just like pouring out of me. I know that's gross, but it was just, it's hard to explain like how much amniotic fluid there was. There was a ton. My 4-year-old, I woke her up and told her to come here, and she came to me. And I was like, can you please get that towel for mommy? And she did, and I said, the baby's coming. And like, she freaked out. She was so happy. She's like, oh my gosh, the baby's coming. And I think she thought I was going to have her. I think she thought I was going to have her at the house, because she was like, okay, I'm ready for the baby to come. I'm like, not yet. Oh, and I forgot to mention, my boyfriend had just left for work like 20 minutes prior to this happening, so I was home alone. So that was fun. I called him. I couldn't get a hold of him. I called my dad to see if he could come get my older 2 girls, so that once I got a hold of Cayman, my boyfriend, he could, just come get me and we could go straight to the hospital. So, well, hold on a second. I went to call him at his work, and I told them, yeah, you trying to tell a story too? I called his work. They got a hold of him, and I told him, so I'm pretty sure my water is broken. And he said, oh, okay, well, I'm on my way. So he came. I didn't have any contractions at the time. Like, my water was just pouring out. I don't know what the heck she's doing. Sorry, I got distracted by my older 2. I probably already said this, but he was on his way. No contractions, as I said. And we... it's kind of a... Whoa! Baby kicked my hand. So I put a dress on, because I figured that'd be easy, and I shoved a towel between my legs, and I told Cayman, I'm like, okay, let's go. It's just coming. The water just won't stop. Our amniotic fluid won't stop coming out. So, yes. So we got to the hospital around 8:30 or 9, I believe, and I told them my water had broken, and so they're like, okay. They got me to labor and delivery after they, after they checked to see if my water was actually broken. I'm like, it's broken, trust me. And so I know once I got into the labor room, or maybe it was triage, they wanted to do ultrasound on me because I was only at like a 2, I think it was. And they could not feel her head, so they're like, oh, is she breech? I'm like, I had an appointment yesterday, or the day before that. No, it was the day previously. Because I had a checkup and she checked to see if I was dilated and everything, and they actually did an ultrasound then because she couldn't feel her head. And yeah, you're a stinker. They did an older ultrasound, and they're like, oh, I guess she is head down. She's just really high up, which was normal for me because all 3 of my girls had been so high up, like they couldn't feel their head each time. So they figured she was, so they sent me to labor and delivery. And I wasn't dilating much. They started Pitocin, and that helped a little bit. And I, of course, got the epidural because I'm not good with pain at all. And the epidural worked for a while, but once I started... You just spit up. Hold on a minute. I probably had 1 contraction, and I was like, no, I don't like this pain. Then I had another one, so I told them I would probably go ahead and have the anesthesiologist come. Oh, another thing. Apparently, that day was the day to have your baby because there was, I believe, 16 other people having babies. I got the last room for the labor and delivery. I got the last water cup, and the nurses were so busy and all that. Oh, you okay? There you go. And so it was a busy day, very busy day for the doctors, and so I was progressing some, but not a lot because her head was so high up. And I was at like a 6, I believe, around 5. So the nurse came in. She told me she saw this position on the internet that supposedly helps get your baby to come down. She had me sit on my bottom with my legs up by my chest, like my knees by my chest, as close as I could. And then I spread my feet out while my knees were touching and had my feet pointing in. And she said, I heard this helps the baby to come down. So I was like, okay. We tried it. 10 minutes later, she comes back to check me because I was kind of feeling some pressure. She's like, oh, that worked. Her head is right there. I'll go ahead and call the doctor and we're ready to push. I was like, oh, okay. So around that time, I started to feel a lot of pain. Because for some reason, whenever I get the epidural, it only works for like just a teeny tiny bit, and then it wears off. Or like I'm able to move my legs. I mean, they're like wobbly a little bit, but I'm able to move them. And so I knew I was going to feel the pain. And of course, the doctor came in, and I pushed her out in 9 minutes is what they said. 9 to 12 minutes. And it was kind of scary because I could feel everything, and I could feel the doctor like sticking his hands in to grab her because he said that she was stuck. Her shoulders had got stuck. Her head came out, but her shoulders got stuck, so he had to pull her out that way. Oh, don't gag yourself. That's not good. Anyway, so he pulled her out, and my boyfriend had told me right before that the doctor had said we are going to need more people in here. I'm glad I didn't hear him say that because it probably would have freaked me out. But no, she came out and she was crying, and she weighed 7 pounds 8 ounces at 37 weeks. So I'm assuming she would have been a big baby. She's a little chunk as it is right now. And she had so much hair. You can't really tell now. I mean, that little bald spot is still from when she was in the NICU and had a IV in her head. And she has one on the other side of her head, too. But, yeah, you're a little fighter, aren't ya? Anyway, so, labor really only lasted about 9 hours. I think it was 9 hours, and I only pushed like 3 times. But no, she did pretty good until this is going to be for another video. But if you want to hear about her NICU stay, I will post that here in a few days and why she had to go to the NICU. But she was in there for 13 days. But now she's a healthy, happy girl, and I'm sure you guys have noticed through the video her tongue's sticking out. She's got a bigger tongue, and we don't really know the reason behind that, but they said that she would probably grow into it. Oh, bless you. It's a big sneeze. But yeah, that's my labor story, guys, and I do think it was funny that the night before I went into labor, I literally had the urge to just clean the kitchen tile floor with a sponge. And I literally cleaned like 15 tiles to where they were super white. And then my back started hurting really bad, so I went to bed. But I just thought that was crazy, that I just had that nesting instinct kick in. Oh, and I never did announce her name. Her name is Adalynn Brielle. And we didn't decide on the name till right before we left the hospital. So, yeah, this is her, and she's a sweet little girl. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'm sorry I have sucked at posting videos. A lot has been happening in my life at the moment, so it's been hectic, and yeah. Well, hopefully you guys will enjoy this video, and if you have questions, I know I'm probably missed out on a lot, go ahead and ask. So, alright, thank you. Say bye, Adalynn. Say bye-bye. Cutie. Yes.